welcome back. Hi, welcome back. Overstimulation of welcoming. Hi, back.
Hello, everybody.
Hope everyone's doing good. They're doing well. We are existing, living, and trying to thrive in this deteriorating world.
That is true.
We have a few things to talk about. One being Matt Rife, because we spoke about him before, so we're gonna keep a light topic on him, and then we're gonna move on to the other two topics. But the reason why we were gonna bring up Matt Rife is because homie screwed up his entire career. For those who don't know, we made a whole episode on him before. I believe the episode's called Matt Rife is Gorgeous, but we spoke about him and his comedy and what he does. And personally, I was never crazy fond of him. He was just sort of a comedian. I know I don't watch a ton of comedians, so like that's not my sphere. So I was never really intimate with his work. I knew who he was because he was very social media savvy, but didn't follow. I know you followed him and you liked his work. And so what happened recently is he just before his Netflix special, his first Netflix special came out, he made a statement. He went out and made a statement that said, "Oh, by the way, this Netflix special is going to be for the boys or for the men. There's going to be more geared toward the men." And then the first 4 minutes of the Netflix special, he makes a domestic abuse joke. And it was just poor taste, poor timing, poor joke, and an awful way to start the Netflix special, your first Netflix special, on top of this comment that he makes, which is, "Oh, this is just for the boys." There's been a lot of discourse over the past, I'd say, week on social media because of this whole thing with him. Because for those who don't know, Matt Rife has been bitching for about a year now on various podcasts that he rolls his eyes and he doesn't like to bring up the fact that his fame was built on the backs of women who found him attractive. And he's put in the work. He's been doing this for 10 years, but what got him, I would say, popular on social media and all this is women going to his shows, whether they find him funny or they just find him attractive. They are the ones who influenced the traction. And for him to not only other them by saying this one's for the boys on his first Netflix special, but to spend a year bitching about why he doesn't like that part of his demographic, and then to say the first joke in his Netflix special to be a domestic abuse joke, all encompassing, is just horrible taste. Horrible just concept.
Okay. I thought it was not in good taste, but I don't think it's going to affect his career in the long run.
I'm going to be real. I think what's going to happen is we're going to see a major shift. I think he's just going towards the alt-right pipeline. I think what's going to happen is all of the people, whether it's women or men who found him attractive or found him funny, that don't appreciate that joke or that humor or those comments or that string of events,
won't watch him.
They're going to leave. They're going to not watch him. But what's going to happen is the people who don't care or actively pursue that kind of content are going to double down, and he's going to lean into that demographic, and it's just going to get more and more extreme. And the reason I say that is because we've seen that happen with other forms of celebrities or influencers, where they do something like that and then they lean into the other demographic because that's what's paying their bills, and they end up becoming something more intense than what they originally intended.
Maybe because he has made fun of women before, and one of his episodes is called MILF and Cookies.
Right.
And on the episode is one of the women in the audience was a 45-year-old divorcee who was gorgeous and sweet, not loud. And in the context of their conversation, where, you know, the red flag context, uh, she gave him his cell. She had brought cookies for him. And he said to her, "You're absolutely gorgeous." And one of her daughters was sitting next to her and said, "She's a grandmother." He said, "You're a grandmother." "Yeah." And um, she said, "You want to see my daughter? She's 21." And she gave him the phone. And she says, "Your daughter's gorgeous. You know what? I'll stay with you for 10 years. I'll switch to her." And then he says, "What's that squeak?" And she said, "That was my breasts. She had implants and they squeak." And he was joking about it. She's laughing. The women
Uh,
were laughing. The
no,
men were laughing.
right. And I understand those things. And I'm gonna be 100% real with this. The concept, there are times where I would argue people can make inappropriate or rather controversial types of humor that work. Personally, I think they tend to work almost strictly with people who have experienced those things. So if you're going to make a domestic abuse joke, or if you're going to make a domestic abuse joke, it should come from someone who is trying to reclaim power over that, rather than someone is who is in the demographic of people that tend to not necessitate, to perpetrate this. And it sort of further plays on the narrative that this is okay, and this is okay to just to talk about and joke about and do those things. So I think there's a nuanced conversation to that type of humor and humor like that. And as a professional comedian, he should be better at understanding that. And
Sure.
the fact that he wasn't shows for multiple reasons why it was so wrong. Because like
Yeah.
I said,
So
again, there are times where that type of humor is funny, it is warranted, but it's usually and almost strictly when people who have had some form of that experience talk from humoring it about themselves, or they're laughing with you. You know what I mean?
yeah, it wasn't necessary, and it definitely was to some degree destructive. But the woman that I was talking about in Milf and Cookies, she came back about 6 months later on the next episode. Uh, she came back to see him again. And uh, what you said in the beginning, I think he has his own target. I think his target will stay loyal to him. I don't think he's going to go down the tubes because he
Oh
has
yeah, no.
too big
I,
of a following.
I don't
Uh,
think he'll ever go down the tubes, but I think his demographic is going to severely shift. Like I said, I think there is a significant amount of women that are going to walk
yeah,
away from him because the humor, like with that MILF and Cookies one, was light. It was him sort of participating, and she was receiving it well. If she wasn't having a good time, but he kept going, that would have been a problem. She was receiving it well. She came back and had a round two at another event, right? Like there's a
uh,
level of acceptance on both sides.
yeah.
And and I would also argue even some of that humor, though arguably distasteful or not your taste, right? Like calling her old, or you don't really want to
It,
call her old or something like that. But
she
that's
wasn't
that's more
old.
right. But
She
that's
was
my point.
45,
That's my point.
45 and gorgeous. I,
That's my
I
point. So
yeah,
it's
again,
one of those situations where I agree with you. I don't think he's gonna just end up in a hole where no, everyone's gonna forget who he is. I completely that's not a thing. He's very good at social media, and I think he's better than most comedians at social media, on top of being an attractive dude.
yeah.
Dude's
Plus,
got the stuff going on. So
yeah. So,
he's gonna always retain some level just because he's attractive. So
yeah.
you know, uh,
But I'll throw this in there. Plus, she got a lot of black rappers and some white rappers who on their music are saying uh, calling women bitches and kill the pigs and all that. And you know what? They keep sending out the music, and it's bought because they got their own target. Uh, he is a sexy young man, and I think he's loved. I think where it'll affect him maybe is getting another Netflix special right away, or but like you said, he'll just keep going. All the stadiums aren't going to cancel him because if they're sold out, the people who own the stadiums want their piece of the pie. So with that said, unless you want to add something, I think he made a minor mistake. I don't think it's going to become a major mistake, in my opinion. But with that, we just had a little mini debate, and that's what my topic's about. Fun. You like the lead in, Peter?
Yeah, I do like the lead in. That was good.
Fun and debates that are nonsensical. So you want me to start?
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm going to ask you a question. You try to answer it, and then I'll give my opinion on it.
Okay.
If you could be a superhero or a supervillain for 1 week, which would you choose, and what would your power be, and how would you use it?
So we can go for like
Short answer, because I got a lot of these.
short answer. Damn it. Uh, 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 uh.
Doesn't have to be so short.
Hold on, hold on, hold on. I gotta think of this. Um,
Good question, huh?
yeah, but I'm looking to break it. That's why. Like I'm trying to think of like the most broken superhero that I can use. That's like, you know.
Okay, I'll answer it and then give you time to think. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I would want to be uh, a superhero for 1 week, not a villain, and the power I would choose would be the power of healing,
Right.
because I would like to spend my whole week healing those who need it physically, mentally, and try to make the world a better place.
That's really nice. Um, God, I can't. So, all right, all right, all right, all right, all right.
You want to come back to it
No,
later?
no, 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 no. So I'll describe it in terms of like basically like a one of these multi-dimensional superheroes, one like Dr. Manhattan or what's the other one?
I have no idea who that is.
Dr. Manhattan, he's basically just one of these characters that has almost infinitesimal power and like godlike powers in the sense of he can manipulate space-time and matter. Um, so I would pick some form of that so that I could heal and heal. I would very much agree with you in terms of healing others, but I would also want to like fly around and teleport and do all the fun things. Um,
One,
what do you mean one?
one choice.
Yeah, I'm picking that's my superhero is like a Dr. Manhattan styled superhero. And
What?
the ability would be to manipulate oh fine. You know what? No, I got a better one. I just remembered it. Probability manipulation. That's my superpower. I can manipulate the probability of anything. And whatever situation or choice I'm left with, I can manipulate the probability of anything. So if I sit in front of uh if I go into a science lab, I can manipulate the probability of going, what's the probability that I stumble upon the cure for cancer? And then I can do it. Or what's the
Okay.
probability that I fly with
Okay.
full control? And I can manipulate the probability. So that's my superpower is
Okay.
probability manipulation.
Okay. That sounds good. A little deep for me, but that's good. Now here's something that's everybody has heard before, and I had a professor. Uh, he used this once to kill a whole period because I don't think he did his homework. If a tree falls in the woods and there's nobody around, it doesn't make a sound.
um, does it make a sound? uh I'm not Neil deGrasse Tyson, but I know there's something in there to discuss about how, similar to how I believe it's electrons will stop moving if you look at them. That's been like documented, that there's certain atoms or anatomical level things, whether it's neutrons or electrons. I believe it's electrons. They will literally stop moving if you look at them. But if you look away, they move again. Um, yeah, yeah. And so
That-
the way I'm correlating that to this tree is if we are using that on a quantum level, that they move when we're not looking, right? So I would argue a tree does make a sound when we're not there.
yeah, well, I'll make it even easier. If you if you're yes, it does, because if you're walking by a construction site and you hear the sound of the men working and things falling, fine. If you walk 10 blocks away, things are still going to be making sounds from the things falling. So,
Right, but if there's no one to hear it, does it make a sound?
yeah, it does. Just nobody hears it. That's all. It makes a sound.
Okay.
Next one. Oh, this should be a good one. If you could change sexes for 1 month, would you?
Yeah,
You would.
absolutely. Absolutely.
And what would be
No,
the
no
first?
penalty. I don't have to go like to experience the other half and understand even better. Absolutely.
Oh, that makes sense. But what would you do?
We don't need to discuss that.
Okay, but you'd be a very awkward looking female.
Well, I mean, are we talking you just like end up with female parts, you look exactly the same, or do you like
No,
look as
no,
like the
no.
female version of yourself?
Yeah, I'm saying because you're 6'7", you're not. You'd have to be going to the
Yeah.
WNBA.
Yeah, so what? There's
Yeah,
there's
no,
supermodels that are this tall.
yeah,
I
I
don't
know.
thankfully being 6'7", I've run into a lot of guys that are my height, taller, give or take, or a little shorter, and they've got some weird features.
Okay.
Long necks, orangutan arms, just all types of strange features. Thankfully, I don't have
Hey,
that.
what? Watch out. We don't want to get canceled.
No, I'm talking about white
Um.
guys. I'm talking
Uh,
about strictly white guys. I like
okay.
there was a guy at Montclair who was, I think, 6'10". Homie had a neck longer than my forearm. I mean, like, it was ridiculous. But yeah, so I'm very thankful to have very fitted features. So if I ended up as a woman, it would look quite fitted and normal. Uh,
Okay. I'm not gonna take much time on this. If you could go back to your childhood, what is the one thing you would change?
I would well, when you say change, is it like a choice, or is it something that I personally would go back in time and like give myself information wise?
You could change it. It wouldn't happen.
I don't think I would change anything, because I think the concept of going back and changing something implies that everything then gets changed. Everything. And
Okay.
it's sort of
Uh,
like the butterfly effect. I remember that's a movie, I think.
or the
Um,
domino effect. Yeah.
so
Okay.
I would argue that changing absolutely even one thing in my life would not lead me to where I am now. And therefore, unless I'm looking to quote unquote start over in life, I'm not really looking to change one thing.
Okay. I had a happy childhood, so I wouldn't want to change anything except for one thing. I would uh, probably want to have studied harder. Uh,
Hmm.
do you believe that all actions have consequences and that one decision can change the course of your life forever?
Uh,
And this ties in to a little bit to the Matt Rife thing.
yes. I think I th- I think yes to both. Do actions have consequences? Always. Always. Even if the consequence is nothing, that's still a consequence. So there's always a consequence to your actions. Um, and in lieu of, can one decision change your whole life? Yes. Can it? The possibility of it? Yes. Will will your biggest decision in your life be the biggest change in your life? Not necessarily. Sometimes a small decision or a small mistake can upend your entire life. Um, so
Okay.
I would argue yes on the blanket statement of can a single decision alter your entire life? Yes. Is it often? Is it frequent? Is it usual? No. I think it's quite rare.
Okay. I can say yes, because um, marrying your grandmother and being married for her, she should rest in peace for 40 years, changed the course of my life in a happy way forever. So that said, if you were offered a dream job, Peter,
Oh God.
and you know you're not qualified for it, would you still apply for it? And if you got the job, do you think you would succeed in it?
Am I offered the job or am I applying for it?
If you were offered to step right into the job,
If I was offered to step right into the job, I would absolutely take it. Um,
I agree.
and I would do what most people do, which is learn as you go. I wouldn't make any rash decisions off rip because that would just be unintelligent. But yeah, absolutely, I would take it because worst case scenario, they don't like me, I get fired, but I had really good experience from it, and I'll take
Hmm.
it somewhere else or whatever, or best case scenario, I stay because it works out, and
Yeah,
I work my ass off and I get to keep the position.
yeah. You will learn if they allow you, and you're learning and you do a good job. You're learning. You're getting paid while you work. Um, would you rather be smart or ugly?
But you mean do you mean ugly and smart or good looking and dumb? Is that the question?
Okay, I'll be nicer about it.
Because like
Would you
if you rather be smart or ugly, I'd rather be smart. Why would I want to be ugly and dumb? You know?
yeah, would you rather be dumb or smart? I'm sorry. Would you rather be? You got me. You got me there. Would you rather be smart or ugly?
Would I rather be smart or ugly? I'd rather be smart.
No, 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 no. You messed me up. Would you rather be smart or good looking?
Smart or good
Good
looking? Got
looking.
it.
Yes.
Smart. What the hell? Well, hold on. When you say smart or good looking, if I choose good looking, am I an idiot? Or am I just where I'm at now? Like, do
Uh,
do I
uh,
start at a base level of ugly and stupid and then I get to pick one as my stats? Or do I go from where I'm at now? And if I pick smart, I gain a bunch of knowledge.
no, you're really good looking or you're very smart. Which would you rather be?
Right. No, I get that. But if I'm very smart, do I look like a troll or do I just look like a normal
You're
person?
just an average looking person,
Oh, smart. Fuck yeah.
uh, but not attractive at all.
Yeah, smart.
Okay.
Easy. Easy, easy, easy. I'd rather be smart and have my life be easy because I'm so smart. I can get whatever job or make my own job or whatever and enjoy my life than be good looking but an idiot.
Well, I would rather, I didn't say an idiot. I said just, I would rather be good looking, and good looking gets you a long way in this life. If you're
It
not,
does.
you know, unless you're not, don't, don't have a brain as like a brick.
Tell that to Mark Zuckerberg.
Yeah. I'd
Ugliest
rather
motherfucker
be,
around.
uh, I would rather be good looking because I could always work on becoming smart. When I was younger, I was just an average student. And I think when I was younger, as they would say in today's society, I was hot. I mean, I
Yeah,
think when I was younger, so I worked hard and I became what I consider to be pretty smart, maybe
Right.
very smart. Now in today's society, I'm just an older man with decent brain.
With stunning looks.
No,
Look,
I lost that. Now, well, now I'm
you've
smart with
aged you've aged like fine wine.
uh, okay.
I would no,
I'll,
but I would say you could do that both ways, because if you're an ugly dude or you're an average dude, I think I I truly think that most, if not all, people can look good. It simply takes understanding who you are and your body type and what you feel comfortable in, and putting effort into that, right? So like some people want this type of haircut, but they just don't look good in it. So accepting that you don't look good in that haircut and going for one that looks good on you, or clothing that you feel confident in, but also accentuates your body and shows you off in a way that is attractive, confidence boosting, and all those things. I think most people, if not all, can end up good looking with some small tweaks or small lifestyle changes in terms of like, hey, don't wear lime green or baby shit green anymore. Try some blues.
yeah, or cut or
Cut your
get
beard or cut your hair or
get major
wash.
major surgery on your nose, your
No,
eyes, your
no, no.
chin.
I wouldn't say major surgery. I would say as basic as just like hygiene, basic fashion understanding, and maybe some dental.
Okay. Next question. Next question. We're going to start to lighten up in a little bit.
Okay.
Do you believe in ghosts? And if so, would you be afraid if you saw one?
Yes, and probably. As much as I want to say no, I probably would be freaked out by one if I saw one. It also depends on, I guess, the scenario. Like if I'm hanging out in my room and a ghost just sort of appears and it's like, sup, I'd probably be initially scared, but then not like continually scared. But if I'm in like a haunted house at 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock in the morning, your boy's gonna be pretty scared.
Yeah,
So
I agree.
depending on the circumstance, yeah. Do I believe in ghosts? Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I believe in ghosts. And would I be afraid if I saw one? Yes. And it also depends on whose ghost it was. I
Right.
mean, if it came back of a loved one, I'd be startled and I'd be happy to see the ghost.
Right. But if it's Jeffrey
Okay.
Dahmer, you're gonna be a little more concerned.
Right. Okay. Now, here is something that I've thought about all my adult life.
Oh God. Okay.
This is very serious.
Mm,
No, I'm serious.
mm.
If or I or you could commit one crime without being caught,
Oh.
would you? And if so, which one and why?
Oh, this isn't the question I was going to think of. I'm going to ask you a question that relates to this after this. So when we're done with this one, I'm going to ask you one because I saw this one on the internet. If I could commit one crime and get away with it, no one would know. Would I do it? Absolutely. I would do a money heist.
Money heist?
Absolutely. I don't care.
Uh,
Absolutely. Why the hell would I want to work? If anyone chooses anything else, you got something going on. You got some vendetta against someone, because if I could guaranteed get away with stealing like $15 billion, why would I not? What the
okay.
hell? What do you mean? Oh, you want to
Okay.
go like someone's house and beat them up and not have a crime against you? No, shut up. $15 billion.
Okay. Like I said, I've thought about this a long time.
Yeah.
If I could commit one crime, I would like to have gone back in history and killed Adolf Hitler and not got caught. Or even if I did get caught, I would like to have killed him.
Got
The
it.
only and for definite reasons.
Of course.
Okay, so don't have to get into the reasons. It's
Pretty
explanatory.
self-explanatory.
Yeah. Uh,
Oh, so let me ask my question.
okay.
I saw this one because this is what I thought where you're going with this. You can stop one crime where you can remove one crime. It is impossible to do it, but you have to commit it once to end it forever. So if you want, like, for example, if you wanted to stop people from stealing, you have to steal once. That's it. So if you wanted to stop one crime and you had to commit it yourself, what would it be?
I have to stop a crime and I have to commit it?
So to stop the crime globally from happening, like what'll happen is to stop the crime, you have to do it once. And once you do it, it removes the ability for anyone else to do it ever again. That's your rite of passage to get it to be stopped, is you have to commit it. I can give my answer if you'd like to hear mine, because I agree with the person who I saw say it on the internet.
Okay, I can't give my answer, Peter, because it will implicate you in a terrible way.
Okay. I would say lying in court, perjury. Because all I got to do is lie in court once, and now no one can lie in court ever again. So if you throw someone in court and you present them with the facts, or you present them with anything, they have to tell the truth.
Okay.
Yep. There you go.
Okay. I can't answer this because this answer would
It'll complicate things.
It would implicate. Oh, it's terrible. Okay.
Understood. Okay.
Oh, okay. If men could have babies, would you want to be able to?
If men could have babies, the fuck kind of question is this? I guess equality, like, sure, let them go through it as well. Why not? I don't know how that process works. What happens if you both get like, sure, yeah, fuck it, equality.
Penalty. The four-letter word. We talked about that.
Fine.
Okay. No, I wouldn't want to, because I know what it is to be constipated, and I wouldn't want to have to pass an 8 to 12 pound thing through my system.
Well,
But I give women kudos for doing it. That's why I have so much respect and love for women in my day.
What a wild setup that one was. Interesting.
Yeah, wasn't it?
Oh my God.
Could you kill a person if it were in self-defense? That was the last of the serious questions.
I think it depends on the person, but yeah, I would think so. If my life depended on it, I'm pretty sure I could.
Me too. Okay. Me
Yeah.
too. This is a great question.
Oh God.
Would you rather be really big or really small?
What do we mean by that? Like, are we talking tall and fat, or short and skinny? Like,
No,
or
tall or short.
Are we talking? We're talking like the extremes. We're talking the extremes.
Okay. Before I started to shrink, 5'6", 6'7".
Right.
What would you rather be?
You're talking about
short?
You're just talking about these two heights. I'm taking my height.
Okay. So would I. So I definitely would.
Actually,
also.
Hold on. Yeah, no, I'm still taking my height, because I'm thinking of all the medical stuff that's gonna, because I'm taller, I run the risk of a higher chance of cancer later in life. I have I can run the risk of knee problems. I am scientifically known to have a shorter lifespan than those who are below 6 foot. A couple other things, yeah. So, but I still take it.
Hey, I don't put much into those facts, because I am what I am. I'm 79. I got a lot of things wrong with me. So what comes.
Fair.
Would you
Wait,
like to live?
hold on. Let's take a pause. We gotta change the film and the camera. We'll be right back. And we're back. Okay. So go ahead. We've changed the film and the camera.
Okay. Would you like to live forever?
No,
No.
that's the beauty and the point of life is that it ends.
Okay. I was a big fan of the series Highlander, and only there can only be one, and he
Mm,
could live forever. I would only want to live forget forever if one, I didn't age, two, I wasn't sick, and three, if my loved ones uh, live forever and maintain their health, then I can be with them.
well,
Otherwise, no.
I would
Otherwise, no.
I would say the only two stipulations I have is I get to pick the age that I want to be at, and then aside from that, uh, if this is the if I was going to take the deal, I would get to pick the age I'm at, and I get to choose. Like it's almost like there's a single switch that I can a kill switch. You know what I mean? That I
Yeah,
get to end. But aside from those two things, wouldn't do it. No.
good answer. Uh, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 quick answers.
Okay.
No one should ever tell a lie.
I don't agree.
I don't agree either. Okay.
I think sometimes there's, shall we say, necessary lies.
Yes, I agree. We don't want to hurt people by telling the truth that might affect them worse than a lie.
Right. Or sometimes you need to lie at the beginning, because they're not strong enough to handle it, and then you can tell them the truth later.
Yep. Humans are the most dangerous animals on the planet.
Agreed.
Disagree or agree? So
Hard,
do I.
hard agree.
Definitely. Aliens may be living among us. Agree or disagree?
Agreed.
Agree. I think I dated a couple when I was younger.
Jesus.
Clowns are scary. Agree or disagree?
Disagree.
You disagree?
I disagree. That scary clowns being scary is very much a thing of like your generation and my mom's generation. That's you guys. I think that's also because you had it.
Yeah. It depends on where you go. If you go to the circus, I find them very humorous. If you're watching it, I find them scary.
Fair enough.
But yeah, but then again, life can be scary. So I don't know if clowns are still scary anymore. I Chucky is, dolls make me crazy. Like Chucky. Um,
You just punt the little guy across the field. That's all. Just where like that's like all those. There's always those like scenarios. If you had to pick one horror movie, bad guy, villain, to chase after you for 24 hours, and if you survive, you get like $1 billion.
yeah.
Which would you pick? Chucky.
Mhm.
What's he gonna do?
Yep.
Stand in the
Yep.
middle of a field, grab some coffee, and anytime he runs at you with a knife, punt him.
Yeah, I got you. I can see that. Would you rather be good at sports or good at exams?
Sports will give me millions and millions. Exams won't give me anything.
Okay, would I would rather have been good at exams because I spent too much time as a kid with sports and only was a superficial student, and I
Right,
want to
but
be.
if you're going to be great at sports, right, off
Yeah,
this
yeah,
question, would you
yeah.
rather be Messi, Lionel Messi, or would you rather be you got A's at college?
Well,
Because that's the only place you're taking exams. You're not taking an exam at work. You're not
yeah,
taking an exam anywhere else.
yeah. If you're going to make, the professional status, yes, but otherwise, uh,
Even if you don't, you could
n-
become a coach. You could become a very well-known coach because it quantifies how good you are at it. But again, it'll always yield more than being good at exams. Because
no, I
being
would.
good at taking a test well outside of college means nothing. But
Yeah,
being good at a sport You could be, or you could be good at all sports, and then you could be a coach for multiple things, and then you can make a really good income off that, and then you can coach other coaches, and then you have your own business of coaches, and then
Yeah, but I look at it another way. I just did enough as a kid to get by, and not until my second year of college, when I switched majors from pre-med to business, um, and I really buckled down. Um, I went from an average student to super student, and I continued to get a master's degree in business, and then a master's degree in equivalent in education. So I would rather have buckled down, gotten the exams right when I was younger, become a doctor or whatever.
I
Uh,
guess.
you know, kids are smarter than grown-ups.
I guess.
Here's two different things. You're my
Okay.
grandson. You're my grandson.
Mm-hmm.
You're you're a man. You're not a kid.
Mm-hmm.
But you're my techie. I love you. You know stuff uh, I do not know, and I probably will learn and forget. Uh, I know stuff that you will never learn because you never experienced it, and perhaps you're well off for that. So I would say there's a trade-off.
Okay.
Okay. What about you? What do you think?
For what?
A kid smarter than grown-ups.
Uh, Wait, say it again. You must have lagged while you said that. I thought
Kids are smarter than grown-ups. Agree or disagree?
kids are smarter than grown-ups.
Let's take it up to 25.
So children and then people who are 25.
To age 25,
Oh, 20, age 25 is still a kid?
I said a man, but or a
But
woman.
you're putting them in that category of like the kids versus the adults.
Yes.
I think in a lot of circumstances they can be, but I think it's highly dependent upon what we're talking about.
Okay. I agree. It's a complicated question. I have a lot of questions, but I'm not going to answer them because I got to leave you time. One more question, though.
No, you're good. We can keep going. We don't need to talk about Mappa. I don't. That was just that was superfluous.
I don't have the paperwork with me. Um, well, let's see. Is it better to be rich with no friends or poor with many friends?
Assuming they're good friends and it's good company, friends. Always.
No, rich with no friends or poor with many friends.
Right. But what I'm saying is, assuming those many friends are good people and good friends, it's not just locals that you call friends, it's actual like good company. You pick the friends. I think a lot of people want the money, but I think in the long run and towards the end of life, you're going to want the friends more.
I think in the long run, you don't have that many friends. You have acquaintances.
Right. But
And
that's
I,
why I'm saying if we're picking, if you're telling me you got a village of friends that you get to keep, I'm picking the friends.
okay. Uh, I would rather have the money than the friends because people tend to migrate to someone who has money, and people are a weird group. It's like, what have you done for me lately? And if you don't have any money and you can't go any place and uh, you can't hang out, and they have money, uh, they will go their separate ways. They want to upgrade their life, not downgrade their life. But I understand where you're coming from, you know. But
Mm.
so, do you want me to continue? You want to talk? You want to talk about your structure?
No, we can keep going. The thing I was going to talk about was just for those who are curious, and I'm going to put this off, is just I can summarize it into 3 sentences. Anime studio that makes animation, a very, very popular one called Mappa, is currently on pause with their shows. Very popular show called Jujutsu Kaisen is on pause because the animators have been severely overworked, to the point where they're not dropping dead, but just about. And they're finally standing up for themselves because the studio has been taking on too many projects and keeping too short of a deadline. And it's a huge deal for the anime community because it's a very popular, it's, shall we say, a AAA show. Grade, highest, like very, very popular, world known type thing. And that's about it. It was just more so to keep popular pop culture news, but that's it.
Okay. Are bad words bad?
Are bad words bad?
Yeah.
No, we, like everything else, it's socially constructed, and it has implied meaning due to historical context, due to societal context, due to whatever. A
Yeah.
1,000 years ago, the word didn't exist.
Okay. Using four-letter words or bad words now, is it bad?
Personally, not really.
Okay.
The
It, de- it, de-
those
it, it depends. I think we discussed this. It depends who your audience is.
I think if we're talking about just like the four letter and the common words, I don't think there's. I don't really care. I think it's just part of the language, and I think there's a lot of discussion around that and control over that when we should be talking about other more important things. I think there are words culturally and societally that most people shouldn't say for historical reasons. Um, and so those I wouldn't be okay with just because I'm adding the historical context to them. But that's
Okay.
it.
Playing video games is bad for your health. Agree or disagree?
Uh, Playing them casually, I hard disagree. Playing them to an addictive sense, sure, it's a problem like anything else that's addictive. But playing them
I
casually or playing them normally, if anything, it's probably beneficial because it allows for multitasking and hand-eye coordination and
mhm,
multi-purpose brain functioning and whatever else.
I agree. Totally, totally agree with you. Who are better teachers, in your opinion, men or women?
Depends on the context. Yeah, like
It is.
if I'm in a women's health class, I would very much prefer to have a woman, uh, someone who knows her body. Like, I'm not too inclined to have a man teach me about a woman's body. Uh,
Mhm.
so I, I think it's very important for context.
Okay, I
Most
agree.
most courses, I think it doesn't matter. Most courses, right? If I'm going to take a history class, uh, uh, I don't think it matters. But I think there's contextually specific courses that are for specific demographics.
Yeah. Again, it's depends on the individual. I mean, I was an educator for 33 years. I saw women take control of a classroom situation greatly, and some men get chased out of the classroom and vice versa.
Hmm.
Um, uh, what do you think about cell phones? At what age do you think children should have cell phones? Is 16 appropriate?
In 2023, you're going to need one at like 13
Okay.
because we're at that point where they're so accessible, and you run the risk of socially pulling your child behind if they don't have one. And you may be okay with that if you've developed a strong constitution in them, but most people haven't, and therefore it would behoove them to do that. Now, there are precautions and safety measures that they should take so that they're not on the internet or downloading inappropriate things at 13, but phones, I think 13, 14.
Well, are we smarter or dumber because of smartphones?
I I think the majority of people are dumber, but we have the potential to be smarter. It's just not being used.
Great answer. Because I know when I was your age, I must have had 100 phone numbers remembered, addresses. I never had to use Waze,
Right.
because Waze didn't exist. I
Yeah,
knew
but
how to. Uh,
memorizing phone numbers versus troubleshooting a printer.
yeah, no, no, I understand.
You know what I mean?
But
Like I
there
can
was no
die.
print.
Right,
There were
but
no.
right, but that's my point. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
It's called mental pruning. There's no
Hmm.
need to memorize, so we don't need to memorize. But
Yeah.
you can give me almost any printer or any iPhone with a problem, and I can diagnose it and troubleshoot it almost all for the like most
Al-
basic
al-
problems.
Almost, yeah.
Uh, uh, it's remote or in person. So, and I'm not a tech guy. Like I don't work in tech, but I can
I
do it.
know, I know.
So, same concept as what how are we quantifying that versus memorizing phone numbers? So,
Okay. You'll tell me when to stop because I don't know what our time element is. If
whatever. We can
uh,
do a couple more. We'll go for another like 10 minutes.
if you woke up one morning able to play any instrument professionally, which would it be?
Ooh,
Because I know you started to play instruments, trying to
yeah.
teach yourself.
Um, oh, this is a tough one. So if I wake up and I know it, am I like a master at it? I'm like very, very good, or do I just know it?
Good player. You know it.
Like good enough to make it a career.
No, just good enough to play it for enjoyment.
Then I would say either piano or one of the string instruments, like a cello or a violin.
Okay, I would say piano or guitar. That would be my answer.
Fair. That's fair.
Do you believe that robots will eventually replace humans, as in more people will utilize robotic parts to fix things wrong with their bodies?
Oh, like a cyberpunk 20, like a
Yeah.
do robots dream of electric sheep type thing. Yeah. I think eventually, but I don't think we're even remotely close to that yet because we don't even have like power sources or battery sources that can uphold or withstand that level, or that can run on such little electricity, shall we say, or such little
I
power.
I think I saw it with uh, the eyes and the legs, where they're able to replace an eye and in some cases a leg.
Yeah, I've seen legs and arms before, but if we're talking like the movie Alita Battle Angel, whatever it's called,
Yeah, I like that
um,
movie.
if we're talking that level, yeah, I think we've got a ways away because that takes a significant level of there needs to be more power than there is draw. So we would need to come up with a way to not only make tech so small that it works on a human functional body level. That's not what we have now, which is, uh, and it needs to be able to have a power source that doesn't degrade in 2 days or a week or whatever.
Uh, okay, you don't have to give me all five, but if you won the lottery, I knew you'd never run out of money. What are the top five things you'd spend it on in ascending order? Example, number one being the first thing you'd spend it on.
Oh, I had this conversation back when the Powerball was at like 1.5 bill or something. Easy, super, super easy. First, pay off all debts within the immediate family and surrounding families. Um, so the cousins and the relatives and all that. Then I would set up money aside for my brother for school, so he can go to whatever college he wants or whatever place he wants. If he wants to go to a trade school, whatever. Um, I would give the immediate family and a couple people outside the immediate family a specific chunk of money so that they don't have to worry about it. And I would then move out.
Yeah.
And
gotcha.
then I would go on a trip. I would take a nice healthy trip, not a luxurious one necessarily. I like obviously an upper end one, but I wouldn't ball out like some people would. I would very much just be fine with a trip, but not like a crazy one.
Yeah, I would accept some of your answers as my answers, and then I would just add, I think I would start my own foundation, which I would control because there's so much money being wasted and utilized for administrative purposes to help people get better, that I think that a lot of one's donations go down the wrong channel. But I like what you said. That's very good. One more and I'll be finished. Now, this one is the toughest one of all,
Yeah.
and it has religious consequences.
Oh, Jesus. Okay. Ah, I see what I did there.
Okay, you got to give this deep thought.
Okay.
Which do you believe came first, the chicken or the egg?
Oh, Jesus. What the hell? That's the one we're ending it on? Which came first, the chicken or the egg? The when we say the egg, are we talking about the egg that births the chicken, or are we talking about just an egg in general?
An egg in general.
An egg in general, then an egg. Oh my God, easy.
No, got a chick. It's a chicken
Chicken or
who
the
lays.
egg? No, because there was animals and creatures that were laying eggs. Fish lay eggs. We've had fish longer than we've had actual living humans or
Yes,
living.
no. Chicken or the egg?
Right. And what I'm saying is within that egg, is that birthing a chicken, or are we just talking about the egg?
The egg is is birthing a chicken, or it makes a very good breakfast dish.
I would argue the egg first, because evolution says, as the lineage goes on, there's a mutation. And so through one of the eggs, birthed a chicken. Through one of the eggs, through the line of evolution, these animals that were not chickens, that were bloodlines of chickens, right? At a certain point, the egg was a malfunctioned egg, and it created something that wasn't like its other bloodlines. It was an evolved form, and it created the chicken. So the egg.
Okay. I think it's the chicken came first.
How? Where did the chicken come from?
Because I would say, and this is if one believes in God, let's say, or this, I would say that.
Oh, you believe he poofed it into existence?
Poof. Animals.
Oh, Christ.
No, not Christ. They said God. You don't know who God is. And then the chicken laid the egg. Adam met Eve, and
Adam met Eve and then morphed into a chicken and then laid an egg. Got it.
So, like I said, it's a great one to end on. So,
oh my God! Oh, I can give you a little fun fact. You just brought up Adam and Eve as a final finisher. Ethiopia is 7 to 8 years behind everyone else in terms of calendars, because they believed that Adam and Eve stayed in the Garden of Eden for 7 to 8 years before being kicked out. So currently, right now, it's 2016 for them on their calendar, because they don't follow a Gregorian calendar.
I like that. I mean, think of all the fun Adam and Eve had in the garden.
They still have time. They can avoid 2020, the pandemic of 2020. They can avoid it. Someone has to warn them.
Yes, that is true.
They got 4 years. They've got 4 years to avoid it. Someone warn them.
Okay. Okay. I thought of one last question. It's not on my
Okay.
list.
All right. All right.
Masks or no masks?
For what context?
You're going shopping. You're going on a plane.
Yeah, but like, is it the Spanish
Now,
flu? I mean,
now, now.
right now, I don't do what you want. I don't care. I see people walking around with masks. Go ahead. By all means, I think it's okay to normalize. Asian countries have had it normalized for God knows how many years now. Even when it's just a head cold, I think it's good. I think it's okay. If you have a head
Okay.
cold and you're walking around the shopping center going achoo and then grabbing the milk and putting it back, screw you. That's awful. I don't care. Just earlier today, I had to go get a case of water. A woman's walking out of King's and she's hacking up a lung as she's got a cart full of stuff. Someone's got to
Mhm.
touch that freaking cart. So by all means, if you have an illness, wear a mask. What's the big deal? I can't breathe. It's a paper mask. It doesn't stop the problem, but it stifles it, and it allows it so that you're not coughing into your hand, which I have to tell you, surprising amount of people do. They cough into their hands or they sneeze into their
What?
hands. Not even their arm. They sneeze into their hands. The amount of
Yeah.
people I've seen who go achoo like this, for those who are watching.
And that's in China. Achoo! Achoo! Give me
Nice.
achoo!
So
Canceled!
the amount of people that sneeze, blow, cough into their hands and then
Yeah.
touch things, have the audacity to touch things, is insane. And so
Okay.
yes, masks by all means. Should they mandate it? No. Masks, no masks, I don't care. Wear them if
Okay.
you're sick. If you're not sick, leave them alone. That's it.
Okay. I had one more question. I'm not going to ask
No,
you
let's
because I
hear it.
already.
I'm amped now. Let's hear it.
You amped?
I'm amped. Let's hear it.
Okay. I have this sheet of paper of all the candidates for president,
Oh, geez. Okay.
and the leading candidates are 77 now and 81.
Garfield the
that's with-
cat. That's my vote.
Okay. Should we have age guidelines?
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely. I said this before on a previous podcast. I think I even made a TikTok about it. If you want to provide if at a certain age you hit a limit where you are finally allowed to vote and you're allowed to participate in government, there should be an age limit at the end that also strips the vote or something to that nature, because there's an entire demographic that doesn't get to vote. Doesn't matter that they're kids, they are still affected by society and culture and everything that's involved.
Right.
Similarly, that back end demographic also doesn't participate in society anymore. They're not working, they're not generating money, they are doing virtually the same thing that the children are doing. They are living and taking from the land, which is fine.
Hey.
Hold on. When I say taking from the land, what I mean is you are spending money and buying goods, but you are not generating any money for the country, right? You are not generating profit. You are not generating anything for the country. And that should be okay. But under the current system, with what we have, it's virtually the same. So I would argue then that means people in that demographic should not be allowed to hold office. By all means, if you want to let them vote, sure, I don't care. They shouldn't hold office. No, no. Someone who's in their 70s should not be in office. I'm sorry.
Well, we're not even talking the 70s. We're going to be talking octogenarians.
80s, 90s. I don't care. Like, that's all that demographic. They should not be in office.
I agree. So, Peter, Christmas is coming.
Yes.
Should we still tell kids that there's a Santa Claus?
Yes, there is. What do you mean? I spoke to him last week.
You did? Did you send him a letter? Did you send him a letter?
No, I FaceTimed him. He's up to date on some of the tech with you know,
Okay.
he's got some of the
I-
elves working him out on this new tech.
yeah, I heard one of his elves is having a drug problem.
Yeah, he's getting too much eggnog.
I think it's time for us to end this video. Don't you
Yeah, I
think?
think so too. All right, we'll see you in the next one. Yeah, we can have 2 weeks from now, whatever. We'll see you in the next one. Well, let's try and make the next one Christmassy. Yeah, we'll
Yeah.
have it Christmas themed, even if it's like fun stuff like this. We'll just Christmas themed.
Okay.
Uh,
Everybody stay healthy and happy.
yes, and have a good rest of your day, evening, night, whatever you're doing.
Peace out.
Peace out.